Most ecom founders watching Claude design videos right now have the exact same question. Can this tool completely replace my designer? So I ran the test myself. I gave the exact same brief to Claude design and also my designer, and I put in both emails on screen so you can call the winner yourself. Here's the reality. You're either burning 2 to 3K a month on a designer for emails that barely move the needle, or you're shipping generic AI templates that look like every other D2C brand in your niche. And the worst part is you don't know which one is actually costing you revenue until it's already sent and the klaviyo numbers come in. I'm Houcem. I run email and SMS for D2C brands at Power My Marketing. We consistently pull 30 to 50% of total revenue from email for our clients across 12 plus years in e-commerce. I'm walking you through the full setup today: brand assets, design systems, and building an actual email for one of our ecom clients so Claude gets a fair shot. By the end, you'll know exactly where Claude design replaces your designer and where it absolutely doesn't. First, the email we're going to be designing is for a client of ours. The brand is called Ono. They sell premium fidget tools. This is one of hundreds of campaigns we've shipped for Ono across 2 years. And the email you're about to watch us build became the highest revenue send of that month. So here's the email brief we sent to both our designer and also gave to Claude design. It's a Star Wars Day email. You'll see here the type is graphic email. Send date is May 4th. There is subject line preview text as well as detailed instructions on how the design should look like. You will see that the first section will look like the opening scene from Star Wars, and then the second section leads to our product. The email is fun, lighthearted, and aligns perfectly with Ono's ideal customer profile. Now let's go through designing the email via Claude Design. So the first thing you need to do before we create the email is to set up a design system. And this is basically a brand brain that Claude Design is going to pull from to create emails that align perfectly with your branding guidelines. So first time you open Claude Design, just click on Setup Design Systems, and then it will ask you whether you want to connect it to Figma or GitHub or upload slides and assets, or if you'd like to use Claude Code. If you can't see the button that says Set up your design systems, all you have to do is click on this tab here that says Design Systems, and then you can create a new one. For the sake of simplicity, we're going to choose the first option here, and this is where you set up your design system. So Claude will ask you for a company name and blurb. It will ask you to upload a Figma file. This is if you are using Figma. You can, for example, choose 5 of your best emails and then download the Figma file so you can upload it here. It will see exactly how you design your email layout, the button placement, the colors, the fonts, etc. And then it will ask you to add fonts, logos, and assets here. So if you have a branding guideline book, then you can attach it here. If you don't have any of these things and you're just starting out, then all you have to do is to go to Claude Chat, give it your website, and then ask it to create a branding guideline book. I went ahead and entered all the details for our client. So here is a blurb, for example, Ono premium silent fidget tools that turn anxious energy into calm and focus, and then some of their products here and who their ideal customer profile is. I also included their website. I also attached a Figma file that has 4 of our emails and also their branding guidelines here. So all you have to do now is click continue to generation. It says here that it will take 5 minutes to generate your design systems. In my experience, it takes a little bit more, but all you have to do is click generate and it'll start generating your design system. After your design system has been generated, you will see this page here, and it has all the info Claude Design needs to create emails for you. So you will see here, for example, the brand, the logo, it has the campaign themes, the tone of voice, the color, the campaign accents, the core brand colors, etc. So now you have the design system. All you have to do is basically go back to the main screen here and click on product prototype. This is the option we need to use to create email. You just click on it here and it will ask you to select a design system, which we just created. So all you have to do is click design system and then select the one that you just created for your brand and click done here. And you will see it outlined below here. So right now it's using the Ono design system. It's using hi-fi design and interactive prototype as well. So what we're going to do here is basically take the email brief that we sent to our designer as well. So we just copy it from here and then go back to Claude here and enter design this email below and basically just paste the email here. And you will see that it pasted it as a tab here. It says pasted text 37 lines. And then all you have to do is click send. You can choose the model here. Right now I'm using Opus 4.8 and then click send. While the email is being created, doing this every week for 2 to 3 emails plus building out email flows still takes a lot of time. That's exactly the gap my team fills for D2C brands just like yours. We handle the strategy, the copy, the design, and the calendar that turns email into 30 to 50% of your total revenue. First link in the description if you want us to do this for your ecom brand. Now let's see what Claude actually came back with. Here's the final email by Claude. I actually really like this scrolling screen here. It says it is a period of civil unrest. Your coworker will not stop clicking their pen. The quarterly review has entered its second hour. In conference rooms across the galaxy, a rebellion stirs against boring meetings, against tapping feet, against fidget toys that sound like a pod racer. Only one tool can restore balance. So I really like this idea, and it wasn't actually in the email that our designer has made. So now I'm thinking that we should have created this as a GIF and uploaded it as the first section of the email. Obviously, we need some tweaks here. Like there is a lot of black void here behind, so we need to edit that. The first section is pretty decent here. Now let's talk about the options that Claude Design provides. So there is markup, comments, edits, and tweaks here. So markup is basically you drawing somewhere and then asking it to make some changes. For example, you can draw here and then you can ask it to remove this black void. Comments, you can just drop your comments here and then you can ask it to change something. For example, if you wanted to change some text or remove a button or reduce the size of the logo. Then you have edits here. So this is more straightforward. All you have to do is basically select the text. Maybe you can add a dot at the end here. And then you have the last option, which is tweaks. Here you can basically describe whatever tweak that you're looking to implement to this email. So yeah, the email's first section is decent. Obviously, we need some changes on it. Let's go to the second section. The second section is where it actually flopped. So we did not follow the guidelines that I gave it. It says here the only tool you need, the Ono roller, silent as a Jedi, some text here, and then it included some photo, and then it says makes zero noise, unlike Chewbacca. And then at the end here, it says join the resistance, and then may the fourth be with you. So first section is decent. Second section is not that great. And it makes sense because this email is a little bit complicated and it requires a lot of context, which our graphic designer has. For simpler emails, it actually does a much better job. So I gave it another brief for a simpler email. You see here a small confession. One, Ono owners have a confession. One is never enough. Basically, there is a top section. The photo is not great. This is actually one thing that's very difficult for Claude Design. So you would probably have to replace all the photos. And then it has the text here, the CTA above the fold. And then it has the social proof section here. And it got pretty much everything right except from the photo. So you have the review here. You have the name of the person. It got the stars as well. And then the last section, which is basically built in a set, one for your desk, one for your bag, and one for your nightstand. For a brand that's just starting out, this is actually not bad and will help you generate more revenue. But not bad is not the same as best send of the month. Now let's go and put both emails side by side, the email that Claude has designed versus the email that our graphic designer has made. So here's the email that our designer has made on the right here, and you will see that there is a huge difference in terms of design capability here. So the email on the right here, it's much more organized. You will see that there are stars, for example, on the background here. I wish we thought about the opening scroll as a GIF. So it basically goes up here and then it says the Ono roller silent as a Jedi. Then there is some text here and then it puts two of their products on top of a rock here. And then it puts the sabers on the back here. It looks really good. And then you have the CTA. You have another photo of the product. It says makes zero noise, unlike Chewbacca. And then may the fourth be with you. Here's what I told you that I'd show you. We ended up sending the designer's version and that email generated more revenue than any other email for that month. Claude's version sent as is would have been an absolute disaster. Not because the tool failed, but because the other 50% is what actually converts. So here's the real answer to the question this video started with. Can Claude Design replace your designer? For some of you, yes. If you're an early stage brand and you don't have a designer yet, Claude Design is a real tool. So use it. Use the design systems mode, give it a real brief like the one I showed you. For a simple email, a plain product announcement, a back in stock, or a basic promo, it'll get you a clean on-brand send that beats whatever you ship in today. But that's the line. For basic emails and brands that are just starting out, Claude Design wins. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's good enough. But the moment the email has to carry a concept, a real hook, brand-specific staging, the conversion details that took 6 months of sends to learn, Claude gets you halfway and stops. Not because the tool isn't smart, but because it doesn't know your audience, your offer, or the patterns that have actually moved revenue for you in the past. That's the gap. And for a fast-growing brand, the gap is the whole game. If you want to see exactly how we do that for your brand, click the first link in the description, schedule a call, and I'll talk to you then.